My name is Nathan, and I'm about to tell you the story of how one secret, one buried truth, shattered my family into a million pieces. And then, against all odds, showed us what family really means. But before I start, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this one. And if you're already part of our family, drop a like to let me know you're here. Trust me, you're going to want to hear how this ends. Now, let's begin. I was 17 when I found the letters. It was a Saturday morning in June. My dad had left early for a golf game. My younger sister Emma was at a sleepover, and my mom had asked me to grab some old photo albums from the attic for a family reunion we were planning. Our house was the kind of perfect suburban home you see in magazines. White picket fence. Manicured lawn. A golden retriever named Cooper. My parents had been married for 23 years, and they were the couple everyone admired. High school sweethearts. Still held hands. Still laughed at each other's jokes. We were the family everyone wished they had. Or so I thought. The attic was dusty and cramped, filled with boxes of Christmas decorations, old furniture, and memories packed away in cardboard. I found the photo albums easily enough, 3 of them, leather-bound and heavy. But as I lifted the third album, something fell out from behind it. A shoebox. Old. Worn. Tied shut with a faded ribbon. I probably should have left it alone. Should have just grabbed the albums and climbed back down. But curiosity is a powerful thing when you're 17. I opened the box. Inside were letters. Dozens of them. All addressed to my mother, Eleanor Bennett, except that wasn't the return address name. They were addressed to Elena Martinez. My mother's name was Eleanor Bennett. She'd been Eleanor Bennett since she married my dad. I'd seen her birth certificate once when we needed it for passport applications. Eleanor Marie Bennett, born in Portland, Oregon. Not Elena Martinez. I picked up one of the letters. The postmark was dated 25 years ago, 2 years before I was born. The return address was from a prison in New Mexico. My hand started shaking as I opened it. My dearest Elena. Asterisk, I know you said not to write anymore, but I can't help it. You're all I think about in here. 20 years is a long time, but knowing you're out there, safe and free, makes it bearable, asterisk. Asterisk, I hope you've built the life you deserved. I hope you found happiness. I hope you never have to look over your shoulder again, asterisk. Asterisk, but if you ever need me, I'm here. Always, asterisk. Love, Marcus. I read it 3 times, my brain refusing to process what I was seeing. My mother, my perfect, PTA president, bake sale organizing mother, had another name. Another life. And someone in prison who called her my dearest. I opened another letter. Then another. They spanned years. All from the same person. All filled with the same desperate love and cryptic references to staying safe and the life you left behind. The most recent letter was dated 6 months ago. Elena. Asterisk, I'm getting out next month. After 25 years, I'm finally free, asterisk. Asterisk, I know what we agreed. I know you've moved on. But I need to see you one last time. To see the woman you became. To know that all of this was worth it, asterisk. Asterisk, I'll be at the place we used to meet. You know where, asterisk. Please come. Marcus. I sat there in the attic for an hour, reading and rereading those letters, trying to make sense of them. Who was Elena Martinez? Who was Marcus? What had my mother left behind? And most importantly, did my father know? I should have confronted her immediately. Should have brought the box downstairs and demanded answers. But I didn't. Because I was scared of what those answers might be. Instead, I put the letters back, tied the ribbon, and hid the box under my bed. I brought the photo albums downstairs and handed them to my mom with a smile. Thanks, honey, she said, kissing my forehead. You're the best. She looked so normal. So, mom-like. making lunch, humming to herself, planning the reunion. How could this woman have secrets buried in our attic? That night at dinner, I watched her differently. Studied her, looking for cracks in the facade. "Nathan, are you okay?" she asked. "You've barely touched your food." "Just tired," I lied. My dad reached over and ruffled my hair. "Growing boy needs his energy. Eat up, champ." They were so normal, so perfect together. Was it all a lie? I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about those letters. About Marcus in prison. About my mother's secret name. At 2 a.m., I crept downstairs and opened my mom's laptop. I knew her password. She used the same one for everything. Our birthdays combined. I typed Elena Martinez into Google. The results that came up made my blood run cold. News articles from 25 years ago. Headlines that made no sense. Local woman disappears after testifying in drug cartel trial. Star witness Elena Martinez vanishes, feared dead. Federal witness protection suspected in Martinez disappearance. I clicked on the first article. It was from a New Mexico newspaper, dated November 1998. Asterisk Elena Martinez, 22, the key witness in the federal prosecution of the Cordova drug cartel, has disappeared. Martinez, whose testimony led to the conviction of 6 cartel members including alleged leader Marco Cordova, was last seen leaving her apartment 3 days ago. Federal authorities have declined to comment on whether she's been placed in witness protection or if foul play is suspected. Asterisk. There was a photo. Grainy. Old. But unmistakably my mother. Younger, with longer hair and different clothes, but the same eyes. The same smile. My mother was a federal witness. Against the drug cartel. My mother had disappeared into witness protection and become someone else entirely. My mother had been living a lie for 25 years. My whole body felt numb. I kept reading. Article after article. The story pieced itself together like a horrifying puzzle. Elena Martinez had been a college student working part-time at a restaurant in Albuquerque. She'd witnessed a murder, a cartel execution in the parking lot. She'd gone to the police. Agreed to testify despite the risks. Her testimony had been damning. 6 men went to prison, including the cartel leader's brother. 2 weeks after the trial ended, Elena Martinez vanished. The cartel had a reputation for revenge. The assumption was that she'd been killed. But she hadn't been killed. She'd been given a new identity. A new life. She'd become Eleanor Bennett. She'd moved to a small town in Washington state. She'd met my father. She'd built a family. All while hiding who she really was. I don't know how long I sat there, staring at the screen. Hours, maybe. When dawn started breaking through the windows, I heard footsteps on the stairs. My mother. She walked into the kitchen, saw me at the laptop, and froze. Our eyes met. And in that moment, she knew. She knew that I knew. Nathan. Her voice was barely a whisper. Who are you? I asked. Really? She closed her eyes. When she opened them, they were filled with tears. Can we talk? Please? Before your father and Emma wake up? We sat at the kitchen table. The same table where we'd had 1,000 family dinners. Where I'd done homework. Where we'd played board games. And my mother told me everything. Her real name was Elena Martinez. She'd grown up in New Mexico, daughter of immigrants, working her way through college. She'd been in the wrong place at the wrong time one night. Witnessed something she shouldn't have. They killed a man right in front of me, she said quietly. I was taking the trash out behind the restaurant. And these 3 men, they just shot him. Execution style. And then they looked up and saw me. She'd run. Called the police. The FBI had gotten involved. They protected her during the trial, promised her safety. But after it was over, they told me the cartel had put a price on my head. $500,000. They said people like that never forget. Never forgive. She wrapped her hands around her coffee mug. So they offered me a choice, live in fear forever or disappear. So you chose witness protection. I chose to live. To actually have a future. She looked at me. The marshals gave me a new name. New documents. New everything. They moved me here, set me up with a job, a place to live. I was 22 years old and I had to leave behind everyone I'd ever known. What about Marcus? Her face crumpled. You found the letters. In the attic. Mom, who is he? She took a shaky breath. Marcus he was my fiancé. Before everything happened. We'd been together since high school. We were going to get married. And he went to prison? No. He tried to protect me. After the trial, before I went into protection, the cartel sent people after me. Marcus and his brother tried to stop them. There was a fight. Marcus. She couldn't finish. What did he do? He killed one of them. In self-defense, but it didn't matter. He went to prison for manslaughter. 25 years. Tears streamed down her face. He gave up his freedom to save my life. And I had to leave him. I had to disappear and let him think I was either dead or had abandoned him. But you wrote to him. Through a third party. Someone the marshals approved. I couldn't let him think I'd just forgotten him. But I could never tell him where I was. Could never see him again. She looked up at me. And then I met your father. And I fell in love again. And I had you and Emma. And this whole beautiful life. But the guilt. Nathan, the guilt never goes away. Does Dad know? Any of this? She shook her head. No. The marshals said the fewer people who knew, the safer I'd be. So I lied. I told him my family was dead. That I'd grown up in foster care. Every lie built on another lie until I couldn't remember what was real anymore. I felt sick. So our entire family is built on lies. Our entire family is built on survival, she corrected. On second chances. On the life I fought so hard to have. And now Marcus is getting out of prison. She went pale. How do you know that? There was a letter. From 6 months ago. He said he's getting out. That he wants to see you. My mother stood up abruptly, walked to the window. I can't. I can't see him. If I do, if anyone connects us, it puts all of you in danger. Are they still looking for you? The cartel? I don't know. It's been 25 years. Maybe they've forgotten. Maybe they haven't. The marshals said people like that have long memories. So what are you going to do? Before she could answer, we heard footsteps upstairs. My father, waking up. Please, my mother begged. Please don't tell him. Not yet. Let me figure out what to do first. Mom. Please, Nathan. I'm begging you. I looked at this woman who'd raised me, who'd packed my lunches and cheered at my soccer games and helped me with homework. This woman who'd lived in fear for 25 years, always looking over her shoulder, always wondering if today was the day her past caught up with her. Okay, I said. But you need to figure this out. Soon. She nodded, wiping her tears just as my father came downstairs. Morning, family, he said cheerfully. Who wants pancakes? And just like that, we were back to pretending everything was normal. But nothing was normal. Not anymore. Over the next week, I watched my mother unravel. She jumped at every phone call. Checked the locks 3 times before bed. Stared out windows like she was expecting someone to appear. My father noticed. Elle, are you okay? You seem stressed. Just the reunion planning, she lied. So much to organize. But I knew the truth. She was terrified. And then, 8 days after I found the letters, he showed up. I was home alone after school when the doorbell rang. Cooper started barking. I opened the door. A man stood there, mid-50s, withered, with kind eyes and prison-hard posture. He wore jeans and a simple button-down shirt. "Is Elena home?" he asked. My heart stopped. "Who?" "I'm sorry. Eleanor." "Is Eleanor home?" "Who are you?" He smiled sadly. "My name is Marcus. I'm an old friend of your mother's." I should have closed the door. Should have called someone. But instead, I said, "She's not here." "Will she be back soon?" "I don't know." We stood there in awkward silence. "You must be Nathan," he finally said. "You look like her. Same eyes. How did you find us?" "It wasn't easy. Took me 6 months after I got out. But I needed to see her. To know she was okay." He looked past me into the house. "Looks like she built a good life. I'm glad. You should go. Before my dad gets home." "Your dad?" "Right." His expression tightened with pain. "Look, can you just tell her I stopped by? Tell her I'm staying at the Comfort Inn on Highway 9. Room 237. I'll be there for 3 more days. After that, I'll disappear. I promise. I need to see her. One last time." He turned to leave, then stopped. "And Nathan? Your mom is the bravest person I've ever known. Whatever she told you, whatever you think of her now, remember that. She survived something that would have broken most people. And she did it so she could live. So she could have you." He walked away. I closed the door and immediately called my mother. "He was here," I said when she answered. "Marcus. He was at our house." I heard her gasp. "Oh God. Oh God, Nathan, are you okay? Is he still there?" "He left." "Mom, what are you going to do?" Silence. Then, "I don't know. I honestly don't know." That night, my parents fought. I heard them through the walls after Emma was asleep. My father's voice, confused and hurt, "Eleanor, what's going on? You've been acting strange for weeks. Talk to me." My mother's voice, breaking, "I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't." "Can't what?" "What are you hiding?" "Nothing. Everything." "I don't know. That doesn't make any sense." I know it doesn't. But I need you to trust me." "How can I trust you when you won't tell me what's wrong?" The fight ended with my mother crying and my father sleeping in the guest room. Our perfect family was falling apart. And it was all because of a secret that had been buried for 25 years. The next morning, my mother was gone. I found a note on the kitchen counter. Asterisk Nathan, I've gone to see Marcus. I need to end this properly. I'll be home tonight. Tell your father I had an emergency with the reunion venue. I love you. Mom asterisk. I crumpled the note, my hands shaking. She was going to see him. After 25 years, she was going to face the man she'd left behind. The day dragged on forever. School was unbearable. I couldn't focus. Couldn't think about anything except what was happening between my mother and Marcus. When I got home, my father was in the driveway, loading golf clubs into his car. "Hey, champ. Your mom called, she's handling some reunion crisis. I'm heading to the driving range. Want to come?" "No thanks. Homework. Suit yourself." He drove away, completely unaware that his marriage was built on a lie. I went inside and waited. Hours passed. Dinner time came and went. Emma came home and made herself a sandwich. "Where's Mom?" she asked. "Running errands." At 8 p.m., my mother finally came home. She looked like she'd been crying for hours. Her eyes were red and swollen. Her hands trembled as she set down her purse. "Nathan," she said quietly, "we need to talk." We sat in the living room. Emma was upstairs, headphones on. "I saw him," my mother said. "Marcus. We talked for 3 hours. And? And he's dying, Nathan. Liver cancer. The doctors give him maybe 6 months." My chest tightened. "Oh. He spent 25 years in prison for saving my life. And now he's dying. And all he wanted was to see me one more time. To know that his sacrifice meant something." She broke down sobbing. "I've been living this beautiful life while he rotted in a cell. How is that fair? It's not fair. But it's not your fault either. Isn't it? I could have stayed. Could have fought. Instead, I ran and left him behind. You survived. That's what he wanted." She looked at me with devastated eyes. "He asked me to tell your father the truth. Said secrets like this destroy families. Said I owe it to all of you to be honest. Are you going to? I don't know how. How do I tell the man I've been married to for 23 years that everything he knows about me is a lie? That I'm not even the person he thinks he married?" Before I could answer, we heard the front door open. My father's voice, "I'm home." My mother and I locked eyes. "Now," I said. "Tell him now." She shook her head frantically. "I can't." "You have to." My father walked into the living room, saw us both sitting there with serious expressions, and immediately tensed. "What's going on? Is someone hurt?" My mother stood up, her whole body shaking. "David, I need to tell you something. And you're going to hate me. But you deserve to know the truth. Eleanor, you're scaring me." "My name isn't Eleanor." Her voice cracked. "It's Elena. Elena Martinez. And I've been lying to you since the day we met." The room went silent. My father stared at her like she'd spoken a foreign language. "What are you talking about?" And then my mother told him everything. She told him about the murder she witnessed. About the trial. About the cartel and the death threats and the witness protection program. She told him about Marcus. About the 25 years of letters. About seeing him today. She told him that everything, her name, her past, her family history, all of it was a fabrication. My father listened in complete silence. His face went through a dozen emotions: confusion, disbelief, hurt, anger, betrayal. When she finished, he just sat there. "David," my mother whispered. "Please say something." "I don't." He stood up abruptly. "I don't even know who you are. I'm the same person I've always been." "No. You're not. The woman I married was Eleanor Bennett from Portland. She grew up in foster care. She had no family. That's who I fell in love with. But that person doesn't exist, does she? She does exist. She's me. I had to become her to survive. By lying. By building our entire marriage on lies. I didn't have a choice. Everyone has a choice." His voice rose. "You chose to lie. Every single day for 23 years, you chose to lie to me. To our children. To everyone. What was I supposed to do? Tell you I was a federal witness on the run from a drug cartel? Would you have married me then? I don't know. But you never gave me the chance to decide. You took that choice away from me." They were both crying now. Emma appeared at the top of the stairs. "What's going on? Why is everyone yelling?" My father looked at her, then at me, then back at my mother. "I need time. I need to think. David. I'm staying at a hotel tonight. I can't even look at you right now." He grabbed his keys and left. The door slamming echoed through the house. My mother collapsed onto the couch, sobbing into her hands. Emma ran down the stairs. Mom? What happened? Why did Dad leave? I put my arm around my little sister. It's complicated. Is he coming back? I looked at my mother, broken and devastated on the couch. I don't know, I said honestly. If you're still with me, drop a like right now. Because what happens next, nobody saw coming. The next 3 days were the worst of my life. My father stayed at a hotel. He wouldn't answer my mother's calls. Wouldn't respond to texts. My mother barely functioned. She didn't eat. Didn't sleep. Just sat in their bedroom staring at nothing. Emma was confused and scared. Why won't anyone tell me what's happening? I wanted to protect her. She was only 13. But she deserved to know. So I sat her down and told her a simplified version. That Mom had a different name before. That she'd been in witness protection. That she'd kept it secret to keep us safe. So Mom's like, in the mafia or something? Emma asked. No. She testified against the mafia. Or something like it. That's actually kind of cool. Emma. No, seriously. Mom's like a superhero. She stood up to bad guys and survived. Leave it to a 13-year-old to find the silver lining. But Emma had a point. Our mother had survived something most people couldn't imagine. She'd rebuilt her entire life from nothing. Maybe that wasn't something to condemn. Maybe it was something to admire. On the 4th day, my father finally came home. He looked exhausted. Like he hadn't slept since he left. My mother met him at the door. David. I talked to a lawyer, he said flatly. Her face went white. You want a divorce? I talked to a lawyer about witness protection. About what options you had 25 years ago. About what the risks were. He paused. And then I talked to a therapist. Oh. The therapist said I have every right to be angry. To feel betrayed. To need time to process this. He looked at her. But she also said that you did what you had to do to survive. That the lies weren't malicious. They were protective. I'm so sorry. I'm not done. His voice was firm but not unkind. You lied to me, Eleanor. Elena. Whoever you are. You lied about fundamental things. And that hurts. It hurts so much I can barely breathe. Tears streamed down my mother's face. But, my father continued, I also realized something. The woman I fell in love with, her kindness, her strength, her love for our family, that was real. That is real. The name doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. What matters is who you are now. Who you've been to me and our kids. David. I'm not saying I forgive you. Not yet. I'm angry and I'm hurt and I need time to work through this. He stepped closer. But I love you. And I want to try to fix this. If you'll let me. My mother threw her arms around him, sobbing into his chest. I love you. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. They held each other in the doorway while Emma and I watched from the stairs. Does this mean Dad's staying? Emma whispered. Yeah, I said, feeling something loosen in my chest. I think it does. But the story doesn't end there. Because 3 days later, we got visitors. I was the one who answered the door this time too. 2 men in suits, official looking, with federal badges. U.S. Marshals, one of them said. We need to speak with Eleanor Bennett. Is she home? My blood ran cold. Why? Sir, is she home or not? My mother appeared behind me. I'm Eleanor Bennett. The marshals looked at each other. Ma'am, we need you to come with us. There's been a development. What kind of development? Not here. Please come with us. My father stepped forward. She's not going anywhere until you tell us what this is about. The taller Marshall sighed. Fine. Marco Cordova, the cartel leader whose brother you helped convict, he escaped from federal custody 2 weeks ago. We have intelligence suggesting he's looking for you. The room started spinning. After 25 years, my mother whispered. Men like Cordova don't forget. And now he's free and he has resources. We need to move you. All of you. New identities. New location. We leave tonight. Absolutely not, my father said. You're not uprooting my family. Mr. Bennett, with all due respect, your family is in danger. Elena testified against one of the most violent cartels in the Southwest. If Cordova finds her, he won't just kill her. He'll kill everyone she loves. That includes you. And your children. Emma grabbed my hand, terrified. How long? My mother asked quietly. How long would we have to hide? Until we recapture Cordova. Could be weeks. Could be years. This is insane, I said. We have lives here. School. Jobs. We can't just disappear. You can and you will if you want to stay alive. My father looked at my mother. This is what you've been living with? This fear? For 25 years? She nodded, tears in her eyes. He took her hand. Then we face it together. As a family. The marshals gave us 2 hours to pack essentials. 2 hours to leave behind everything we knew. We moved through the house like zombies. Grabbing clothes, photos, important documents. Cooper whined, sensing something was wrong. Emma was crying. I don't want to leave. This is our home. I know, sweetheart, my mother said, holding her. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. It's not your fault, my father said firmly. You survived. You built a life. You gave us a family. None of this is your fault. As we loaded the last bags into the marshal's SUV, I looked back at our house. The perfect suburban home. The white picket fence. The life we'd built. All of it about to be left behind. But then I looked at my family, my mother, brave and terrified. My father, angry but loyal. My sister, scared but strong. And I realized something. Home wasn't the house. Home was them. Wherever we went, whatever names we used, we'd still be a family. And maybe that was enough. We drove away as the sun was setting. Headed toward a safe house in an undisclosed location. Toward new identities. New lives. Again. In the back seat, Emma leaned against me. Nathan? Are we going to be okay? I looked at my parents in the front seat. My father's hand covering my mother's. Both of them scared but together. Yeah, I said. We're going to be okay. But as we drove into the unknown, I couldn't help wondering, would we always be running? Would there ever be a time when my mother could stop looking over her shoulder? 3 months passed in the safe house. 3 months of waiting, hiding, wondering. Then the marshals came with news. Marco Cordova had been captured. In Mexico. In a raid that resulted in the arrest of 17 cartel members and the seizure of millions in assets. He's going back to prison, the marshal told us. Supermax this time. He'll never get out. So we're safe, my mother asked, barely daring to hope. You're safe. The relief was overwhelming. We could go home. Back to our lives. Back to normalcy. Except, we'd learned something during those 3 months of hiding. We'd learned that secrets destroy families, but truth, even painful truth, can save them. We'd learned that home isn't a place. It's the people you love. We'd learned that my mother's past didn't define her. Her courage did. When we returned to our house, my father sat us all down. I think we should tell people the truth, he said. Not everyone. Not strangers. But family. Close friends. The people we trust. David, I don't know if that's safe. Elena, he said, using her real name for the first time. I think the secrets have hurt us enough. I think it's time to live in the light. So we did. We told my father's brother. We told my mother's book club. We told Emma's best friend's parents. And you know what? People surprised us. Instead of judgment, we got support. Instead of fear, we got understanding. My mother's story, her survival, her courage, her sacrifice, it inspired people. She started speaking at schools about witness protection and standing up to crime even when it's scary. She reconnected with Marcus in his final months. My father went with her to visit him in hospice. Thank you, my father told Marcus. For saving her. For giving me the chance to love her. Marcus smiled weakly. Take care of her. She deserves the world. I will. Marcus died 3 weeks later. At his funeral, my mother gave a eulogy that had everyone in tears. He was the bravest man I ever knew, she said. He gave up everything so I could live. And I promise, for the rest of my life, I'll make that sacrifice mean something. Now, 2 years later, our family is stronger than ever. My parents renewed their vows, using my mother's real name this time. Elena Martinez Bennett. Emma started high school and joined the debate team. She says Mom inspired her to use her voice. My father says he fell in love with his wife twice, once with Eleanor, once with Elena. Same person, he says. Just more honest now. And me? I'm in college now, studying criminal justice. Because my mother showed me what real courage looks like. Not the absence of fear, but the choice to do the right thing even when you're terrified. She taught me that family isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. Being honest. Fighting for each other. She taught me that everyone has secrets. Everyone has a past. But it's what you do with your second chances that matters. Mom's secret did destroy our home. The perfect facade we'd built. The comfortable lives we'd been living. But from those ruins, we built something better. Something real. Something honest. Something worth fighting for. Before I go, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below telling me, do you think my mother should have told my father the truth from the beginning? Or was she right to keep the secret? There's no wrong answer. I'm genuinely curious what you think. And if this story moved you, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss our next story. Because here's what I learned, the truth might be painful. But it's also the only foundation strong enough to build a real life on. My mother's secret destroyed our entire home. But the truth? The truth set us free. The end. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, family isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. See you in the next story.